All righty. Excellent. Hello. Happy Tuesday. This is Wendy Lee. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US and super excited that you're joining me again for another Papercrafting Tuesday fun, right? All right, what do I have in store for you today? Well, we have a lot of stuff going on. First of all, the last chance list was posted the end of March. So that's been going on for, gosh, at least a week now, maybe a little bit longer, but there are still lots of great goodies out there. And I'm going to show you a few things today that is going to be on the last chance list that you might want to add before they are gone. And then we also have a new catalog coming. Let's see. Oh, mine's on the other side of the room. Excuse me. I'm going to reach over and grab it because I think you want to see the cover if you've not seen it yet. Woo, crazy. All right, I'm back. This is the gorgeous, gorgeous new catalog. I cannot show you anything on the inside. I'm not allowed to do that just yet, but know that it is fantabulous. It's got lots of great new products in it. And as a demonstrator, we get to do some pre-ordering now during the month of April of some select products out of the catalog, including the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new in colors. I am happy, so happy with the colors that are coming out this year. I'm sad to see several of our current ones going away, of course, but really excited about some of the new ones. Let's see what's next. I should check and make sure I am in the Facebook group, shouldn't I? That would probably be good. Let me check that real quick here behind me and make sure I am in the Facebook group. Well, maybe. Let's see. Okay, looks like I am live on that screen. So I'm going to assume I'm in the correct place and you guys can all hear me. I can't see comments just yet. I'll have to go back and look on the other monitor when I switch screens over. So the last thing I wanted to mention is that yesterday I launched my awesome April event, which I do every year. So this gives you an opportunity that as you place an order with me, for every $25 that you spend, you get an item of your choice from my stash. My stash is pretty big. So I do have some bundles, those count as 2 items. And then I've got just lots of stamps. I've got some dies, I've got some embossing folders, and then there's some goodie bags that have a surprise in them. So I've got all of that posted on my website. So you should be able to find that pretty easy. I'm at CreativeLeeYours.com. All right, what are we doing today? Let's get to business. So we are going to create a fun masculine split panel card today. So here's the original sample that I did, and then this flips up. Cute, right? And it's held together by this little panel here. It's a little masculine card. I am featuring the, let's see, the handsomely suited stamp set and coordinating dies. This is all part of the well-suited product suite in the January to June mini catalog. And we are also featuring the products from this suite in my Diamonds team meeting this month. So each month we do make and takes. So we do a full class every month and they get the tutorials and all that fun stuff. So I'll just do a quick flyby, and these are in plastic, so they might give a weird gleam, but so here's one, cute. The second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So we are doing masculine cards for all those guys in our lives using this great product suite. All right, so let me get the card out there and switch the camera and we will get going, right? All righty, get the right camera. Yes, I'm down too low, so I will fix that and hopefully stay in screen. That's my issue. I'm not real good about staying in screen. And hopefully my lighting will be okay today. If it's not, please let me know. Hey, Sheila, so glad you're here. Hey, Jennifer. Nancy, so glad you're here. All right, I've got a few of you here. Perfect, 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 perfect. So glad you guys are joining me. And I hope you like these projects, or the project, I should say. All right, so let me put that up in the light. Hopefully you can see it pretty good. You know, I'm struggling a little bit with my lighting, but still working on it. but hopefully you can see this awesome texture back here. So this is with the Argyle 3D embossing folder, so that you'll see that one in the supply list as well. And so this back of this card is the designer series paper from the well-suited designer series paper pack. And then again, this is going to flip up and reveal the sentiment. So let's go ahead and get started on this one and bring in my goodies. So first, I have the supply list cut dimensions all listed in the video description. So hopefully you have that, and I will try to keep up with my cheat sheet here and tell you what I've got going on as well. So this is a piece of basic white. This is 3 5/8 by 9 3/8, okay? And then I actually already scored it at 4 7/8. So we're gonna fold that right along that score line, and let me run my bone folder across there. Now, I want to go ahead and add texture just to this front panel here. So as I said, I used the Argyle 3D embossing folder for this first one here. So that's what you're seeing here in this white layer. For this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and use one of my absolute favorites, which is the Subtle 3D embossing folder. So of course, this one is on the last chance list. So sad. So sad, as well as the Argyle one. So these are both fabulous and leaving us soon. So what I'm going to do is just slide the front, just the front of the layer. Sorry, I should be in camera. Front of the layer into the folder, and then I'm going to go run this through the die cutting machine, die cut emboss machine, right? So I have this. So hopefully you can see that nice subtle texture on there. So next, I want to cut this piece you can see it's shorter, right? Because I've got that gap that happens. So I want to cut this apart. So I can bring in a ruler and I can measure up from the bottom on the white, and it is 3/4 of an inch on this left side and 2 1/4 of an inch on the right side. Now, if you're going to do multiples of these, I recommend making a template. So that's what I've done. So I've got a template that I'm going to lay right down on the front of this. This was up 3/4 and up 2 1/4 from the side here. So I'm going to use that as a guide to cut. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. So again, if I'm going to do more than one card, I highly recommend making a template. It's so much faster, and then you don't have to worry about your pencil lines and all that fun stuff. So I'm just going to lay that right in there, make sure my template's on the edge of what I want, and then adjust this so that it's right in that cutting channel. So the center of this gray channel is what I'm wanting to work with. I'm going to slide that out of the way and then just cut that into 2 pieces, right? And then that's going to give me my slit right there. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Gwen, so glad you're here today. Perfect. All right. Move that template out of the way. I'm going to run my bone folder one more time across this crease because it straightened out a little bit once I added my embossing to it. So next, I've got a piece of basic black. This is 3 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches, and I'm going to adhere just the back of this layer centered on that black cardstock. Best that I can anyway. I think I'm going to need to move my camera so it's a little closer to me. It's hard to keep it up in the view there. So we'll play with that for next time. Great. Then I've got a piece of the designer series paper. So you've got 2 sides to each of these fabulous prints. And this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm using that kind of as my card, the backing of my card base. So I'm just going to adhere that right on there. So I'm just going to pull out my Stampin' Seal again and lay that right down on my layer. One of the great things about this layout is you could use any one of the prints in this pack. It works fabulously for what we're doing. All right, great. Next, I'm going to bring in a piece of Pacific Point, and this is cut at 3 1/8 by 3 3/8. And then I'm going to angle cut this as well because this is going to go on my layer next. So again, I could get my ruler and I could come in and I could measure 1/4 of an inch up on this side and 1.5 inch up on this side and cut that diagonal line. But I've also created a template, right? So I can just lay this right down on the edge, bring back in my trimmer, place this right down in the channel. I'm gonna remove my template. Oh, it slid on me. I better double check it because I could end up with some really crazy stuff if I don't. Sometimes the angles go a little crazy. All right, move that out of the way, slide that out of the way, and let's go ahead. Oh, I scored it. We're gonna cut it. We want to cut it, not score it. All right, so that gives me my 2 pieces there. Now, let's go ahead and attach these on the white layer with dimensionals. So I've got both my pieces here. Let's see if I've got some dimensionals handy. Hey, Tammy, so glad you're here today. Good to see you, sort of. I guess I can't really see you guys. You can see me, or at least my hands, right? I have a crazy fly flying around this morning, and I'm not sure why. I had the back door open. It's a beautiful day here in North Carolina, or at least in Paughtown. I don't know if it is everywhere, but it's sunny and warm. The dog was out sunning herself earlier, but I've got the back door open. All right. I'm going to put one there. Now you could use mini dimensionals if you prefer, if you want to get a little closer to the edges, or you could use foam adhesive strips if you'd like. I think this works fine, but whatever makes you happy. You can use whatever supplies you have on hand. Again, I'm just going to lay this kind of centered in here. So I'm just going to lay this down and kind of see that I'm all lined up. Yeah, it's not too bad. So I'm looking for that to look like it's an extenuation of that piece above. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'll let that one go. All right, next, I want to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on here. So I'm bringing in my Memento black ink, and I'm using You're the Best. So it is, again, from that same Handsomely Suited, I think it's Handsomely Suited, yes, stamp set. And I'm going to stamp this at that angle, hopefully straight, sort of. I got a little smudge, but that's all right. So that is down so that it's going to fall underneath where our little shirt and tie is. Cute. It's too long of a sentiment to have it show, display, however you want to call that, as I was looking at it. So, all right. Next, we are bringing in the Stitch Nested Labels dies. So sadly, another item that is going to be leaving us as part of the last chance list. So this one's going to be gone as of May 3rd, unless it runs out sooner. And I cut the black with the second largest, and then my basic white with the third largest die. So these are great. If you've not used these before, one of the things I really like about them is that it's got stitching on both sides of the cut. So if you cut a window in something, it gives you stitching, or on this piece, it gives you stitching. So it's kind of a fun way to use your layers. So if that makes any sense whatsoever. Next, I've got a scrap piece of paper, and I am using the collar from the, let me get the right name, Suit and Tie Dies. So I'm going to take that collar, I'm going to run that through the die cutting machine. So I've got my collar right here. I'm going to go ahead and place this on my white layer here, and I'm going to put those down with dimensionals as well. Oh, I hear people out doing yard work. Hopefully you guys can't hear all that. It's pretty noisy. All right. And I'm putting it down low because I'm going to clip off the top or upper portion of the collar. Whoa. So I'm just going to set that on. I'm eyeballing where my placement is. I just want my knot to end up there. So I'm going to flip this over and just clip away the excess that I don't need. Do you guys struggle with masculine cards? Hopefully this will make it a little easier for you. All right, and then this piece I want to go ahead and pop up with dimensionals onto my black layer. I'm going to get a little excessive with my dimensionals, I think. So I want this nice and stable. Okay. You don't have to pop this up if you don't want your cards to have this much dimension. You could easily adhere this flat and not put all these extras in there. All right, great. Now, this is the piece that's going to join the top and bottom of my card, right? So this piece right here and this piece right here. So it's going to join those together. So I'm kind of eyeballing where I want my placement to be. And I think just by visually looking at it, the point is coming pretty darn close to where the blue edge is. So I'm just going to lay this down and I'm holding it in place. Now, if you wanted to take a pencil or a pen and place a mark there, let's see if I've got one. There's a pencil. All right, I'm just going to draw a pencil line on this black. And that's going to give me a guide so I know where to put my adhesive. So I'm going to put my liquid adhesive down above that mark. Just a little bit to hold it in place. It doesn't need a ton. Okay, and this might not be perfectly placed. Whoops, I should leave it flat. I hope I just don't get glue everywhere. So I'm just going to lay this, again, the points up at the top, and I'm just kind of leaving a narrower side on the right and a little wider on the left. So let's double check that. Yep, I did pretty darn good getting that back in the same place. Not bad anyway. And then again, we're going to just lay this one in to line it up. And then we want to put some adhesive on this. So you could trace this, but if you're worried about seeing that pencil line, because you will see that a little bit if I do it that way. So you can see that pencil line a little bit. So you could put a little adhesive on there, staying well within that pencil line, and then erase those pencil lines if you wanted to. You could do the same method we did with holding it on to the layer with the black and trace it on the black if you prefer. You don't have to trace it at all. It's really whatever you prefer to do, whatever makes you most comfortable. I'm just going to hold that down for just a moment, get that to stick in place. All right, perfect. So while that's drying, I'm going to slide this over and we're going to bring in a scrap piece of the designer paper and let's stamp this large tie. I'm going to bring in my memento ink again. Ink this up real good. All right, and we'll just stamp this down. And I believe I've got the dimensions on this at 1 inches by 4.5 inches. It doesn't take quite that much, but it gives you a nice leeway if you do it that way. All right, so then we're going to take the suit and tie dies. Suit and tie dies. Let me bring those in. And we're going to use this one right here, and we're going to die cut that tie out. So let me go run that through. Okay, so I've got my beautiful tie right here. And so this is ready to just adhere right here on my card front. Cute, right? So let's use dimensionals on the back of the tie. Pop that up a little bit. That's a couple, maybe 3. That might be excessive, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's 3 there. And then let me put a little dab of liquid glue up here. So where it overlaps the collar of the shirt, I don't want it popped up. So we'll take the backing off these. Alrighty. And place that right up there. And our tie right down like that. Cute. Isn't that fun? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then those are adhered together, and then you've got the "You're the best" on the inside. Now you could add dad or brother or son or you know, words like that if you wanted to. Ooh, looks like I got pretty darn crooked on that black layer. Loving doing it on the video, right? That always adds help. So I've got 2 different versions, but like I said, any print would be awesome. And then you could change the embossing folder that you use depending on how much pop you want going on for your layers there. You know, I just think it's a little bit of a fun way to use this one. So, oh, good, Mary, you like it? Yay, good, good, good. Yeah, it's a fun set to play with. And I just thought the split panel at an angle was kind of a nice way to go about this. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I appreciate you sharing the video with your crafty friends. And if you're watching on replay, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will see you all again next Tuesday. So have a wonderful week and bye for now.